Hey, what's up? It's Jared with West Coast River Outlaws. I'm here with my buddy Eric, and we are in Conroe, Texas. And what you see behind me is Eric's new toy, and I couldn't be more stoked about it. This is gonna be your guys' sneak peek for what's going on this year in 2026 with the circle boat races, specifically the unlimited hydroplanes. So dude, how long have you been on the road? Where did you come from? What is this thing? Tell me about it.
So we came down here from Washington State. We left last Wednesday. We got in here on Sunday, so 4 days, 4 to 4.5 days. We come down here, I've been scoping this boat out. I've been tracking this boat for several years. I wondered where it went when it last sold. I couldn't find it. Found it on Google Earth when I was told the basic geographical location. Tracked it down, came down and got it, and we're ready to head home. We're ready to hit the H1 circuit. It's going to take some time-consuming work to get back on the water, but we can get her done. It's not hard work. It's just time-consuming work.
Yeah, totally. So, how did you even get involved with the circle boat races, the hydroplanes? I mean, how I met you was a couple years ago at San Diego Bay Fair.
Correct.
We were running around the pits, and you were in a white GP at the time. So, and we just kind of became homies right then and there, you know?
This is a big step up from the GPs.
Yeah.
It's kind of the higher echelons, I guess you would say. I started with hydroplane racing in 2000 as a seafarer volunteer, and then it kind of evolved from there. 2002, I purchased my first inboard hydroplane because I was hooked from day one at Seafair. It's like, I want to get involved. I want to start racing myself.
Yeah.
So 2002, I bought my first 2.5 stock, started racing. It was an old Kelson Hull, and I haven't looked back. So I've been climbing the ranks slowly throughout the years. Don't have a real good track of consistent full years, so it's kind of like hodgepodge, bounce around.
On,
here
off,
and there, on, off, exactly. Yeah. It's nothing against people that have had all the rides, but I didn't get the chance to go out and drive other people's boats. If I wanted to go race, it was something I had to do myself, get my own sponsors, bring in my own money. And so that took me away from the rides that a lot of the people I will be racing against had growing up.
Yeah.
I had to do all this on my own.
Yeah.
And so I had to approach this from a different standpoint than what a lot of other racers were able to do in the past.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot more work, and it's going to be it's going to be tough going forward. There's no cakewalk here. And, you know, you talk about the unlimiteds,
Dude, that's another ball game. I mean, you're talking, they're doing 200 miles an hour, right?
Yes, we can approach we're bumping the 200 mile mark at the end of the straightaways.
That's unreal.
We're pulling 2.5 Gs in the turns.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I got to say, your commitment and dedication to making this happen. I've been following you since I met you. And, you know, going the last 2 years trying to find an unlimited hydroplane and finally landing on what'd you
Tubby.
call? What's her name?
Tubby is her name.
And why is it called Tubby?
She's heavy.
But that's okay, man. It doesn't matter. She's got a lot of history playing with the unlimited class, right? The H1 Unlimiteds.
So the Coopers built her brand new, more I guess you would call it a kit boat from Fred Leland's team. Fred had the canoes all laid up, the cockpit all laid up, and shipped everything off to Coopers. Coopers assembled the whole boat, put everything together, and then they had their current boat that they're trying to sell now as well, replaced Tubby. Tubby is 1,000 pounds overweight, which is a lot. That's a lot of weight, and most of it is up in the nose.
Yeah.
So my plan over the a couple years, we're going to be pulling some weight out of the front of the boat. But back that up, they sold that boat to Webster's, and this boat was an Allison-powered boat. So a lot of the framework has been doubled up.
Yeah.
Just to support the weight of the Allison engine itself.
And real quick, for those of you guys that don't know, the H1 Unlimiteds initially started with front engine Allison V12s.
Yeah,
right?
It was the Allison, the Griffin, the Merlin.
All big engines, right?
All V12s.
Right.
And the Chrysler Crew had 2 V8s in it, so there's some history of V8s in Unlimiteds, but most of them were all V12 engines.
Right.
Now we're pretty much all gas turbine except for Cooper's, you know, his Cooper Express, he calls it. He hasn't ran for a few years now. I'd like to see him get back out there and run, but
yeah,
we're all gas turbine now.
And when you say gas turbine, you're talking, I mean, when these things fire off, they sound like a jet airplane.
Correct.
Taking off, right?
Essentially, it is a jet engine. It's missing one section. You know, a jet engine is basically a turbine with with an extra compressor section to create the thrust.
Gotcha.
So it is essentially a jet engine minus one section of what a jet engine would have.
Gotcha, which is why it has that similar sound to an airplane firing up.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
These engines come out of the Chinook helicopter. It's a Lycoming T55 L7, and they produce just under 3,000 horsepower.
God. What kind of RPM do they spin, do you know?
The engine spins at 20,000 RPMs.
20,000.
20,000 RPMs. Our propellers spin between 9 and 10. I'd say more like between 8 and 10, more 8 and 9, 9.5.
That's crazy.
And so the propellers only have a shelf life. You know, we'll only run them for so long before we can them, and we'll throw them away, sell them as souvenirs to fans that'll buy them, whatever. But we can only run them for so long. We're magging every single prop every time after the boat comes in. Prop comes off the boat, gets magged.
Yeah. Before
it ever goes back on the boat.
Yeah.
So it's pretty high-end risky stuff.
So what's your, I mean, I know you talked about, you know, the next couple of years shedding some weight, but what's your race plan? I mean, I know you're probably not waiting a couple of years to see this thing float around and play in the driver's seat, right?
No, we're hoping to get on the water this year. We're wanting to get down to Tri-Cities, and it's gonna be a tall order, but I think I got a good core group of guys. We're getting a good group of crew guys together. We're gonna get this boat on the water in Tri-Cities at the Columbia Cup this year. We're gonna do Tri-Cities, Seattle Seafair the following weekend, and then San Diego, California at Bayfair.
Beautiful. And last but not least, before we let our audience go, where can we find you guys on social media if we wanted to follow your story, follow your journey, and what you guys are doing with this with Tubby?
Sure. So we have Facebook. It's Christensen Motorsports. It's pretty obvious. You'll see. You know, obviously, I'm not going to leave the boat out of any of the pictures, so it'll be pretty recognizable. You can also find us on our website that I haven't launched yet. It'll launch here within the next week. That's www.u4, so it's the letter U, number 4, unlimited.com.
And we'll make sure to put all that stuff in the comments down below in the description of the video. That way you guys can know. And if I know my editor and business partner well enough, he's already put these probably here and here. So make sure to go follow, make sure to go watch and check out the website when it launches. And you guys can also follow along because we get to go grab exclusive content of Eric doing his thing for the first time in an unlimited hydro H1 at West Coast River Outlaws. And you can find us in all the basic places.
And we'll also have merch available for sale as well coming up in the near future.
Beautiful. So make sure to pay attention. If you guys want exclusive content, make sure to follow Christensen Motorsports and West Coast River Outlaws, and we'll see you at the first race.